Let's walk through the solution together. I'm here back at the sessions documentation page, and we can see that the first thing it's telling us to do is to request a new token, and it's linking us to where in the documentation we can read up about this. So the method it wants us to use is this authentication token new. And we can see that the only required parameter is our API key. If we take a look at the example query, we'll see that we can expect in the response that we'll get what we want. There's the request token, and it's this long string here. And this will be plenty of information to go on to complete this exercise. So I'll go back to the login view controller, and the first thing I want to do is add in my API key. For the next step, I need to modify this URL string to be the correct string for the method. So I'll use the base URL string that's part of the app delegate, and then the method name here, which is authentication token new. Steps 3 and 4 look good already, so the next thing we'll need to do is actually parse the request. But before we parse the data, let me handle this error a little bit more appropriately. For this, I'll use the debug text label to let the users know that something went wrong in this request token step of authentication. I'll also keep this print line here so that we know something in the debug as we're going through. So for parsing the data, I'll use our tried and true NS-JSON serialization snippet to turn the raw data into an NS dictionary. Then the last step that needs to be fixed is actually using the data and getting the request token. So I'll attempt to get the request token key and value, and if anything goes wrong, then I'll do similar to what we did above and print something back to the user if there's an error. Let's go ahead and run this. Looks like our build succeeded without any errors, so we'll go ahead and try logging in. And it looks like we already have some things in place to make sure that these fields aren't empty, so I'll just enter in some garbage username and password and then try. And as you can see, we have gotten our request token, and that's the string we'll need to use for the next step in the authentication process.